Hello YouTube people. I just finished making this Perler bead project of a giraffe. It took a while, about 7 hours to fully finish. I went off of a picture that I found online of a giraffe that I pixelated a little bit using Photoshop, and then I roughly followed that to get this one done. Some of the colors are different because Perler beads, they have a pretty good amount of colors, but they don't have every color in the world, so you have to kind of play around with that until it looks the way that you want it to. Like I did with my last video with the King DDD project, which is over there, I have to now tape this up and then iron it and then glue it onto a canvas that I just finished painting. So I am going to speed this video up so you can see the process, and I'll talk to you in a second after I'm done speeding this baby up. Okay, so I finished taping up this giraffe Perler bead project. The next step is I'm going to need to get another foam board, which is right here. And I'm going to put this, let me get all this stuff out of the way that I don't really need right now, on top of this project. And I'm going to have to very carefully squish the project, flip it over, and then lay it flat. Whew. That is always the scariest part. I'm always worried that the Perler beads are gonna fall off, but they haven't so far. So I can start to take these off carefully, making sure that the tape is all taped down so that way no Perler beads come up when I do this. Careful. There we go. And I should have, there we go, a nice flat surface to iron this on. Because again, like I said in the other video, if you iron them on these pegboards, they don't really, they work, but they don't really work that well if you want to do professional, or well, I wouldn't say professional, but a nice job. Now that this is flipped over, I am going to take my iron in just a second and iron down this whole side. I won't iron the back. Usually I hit the back with a heat gun to kind of melt the back side and make it a little bit more glossy, because these Perler beads get glossy when they're heated up. But I don't take an iron to it because I like one side to be consistent. When you hit this with the iron, some of these like get a little like flat and like the circles get all misshapen, so I like one side to look like this, like all consistent with the circles and shapes, and the other side I don't really care about because that's gonna get glued onto a canvas, so it can look as messy as it needs to be. So I'm going to stop talking now and switch over to ironing. So again, for ironing, I'm going to be using this parchment paper. Usually the Perler beads, you get these little square pieces of paper to iron, but they don't work as nice as this parchment paper because they don't stick to the beads as well. And I know I've been saying this a lot, but if you saw the other video, I already talked about it more, so I'm not going to get into it too much. Anyway, my iron is pretty much heated up, so I'm going to take the iron to this and hope that it works out. And I've no reason to think that it won't, but you never know. Anyway, you want to make sure that you're really consistent with the iron. Try to get everything as best as you can. Make sure you get the sides too, because sometimes when you lift this up and you take the tape off, some of the sides will just peel right off and they aren't really secured onto the rest of the Perler beads, so you just got to be consistent. Maybe I'll fast forward. This isn't the most exciting thing in the world. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so finished ironing. I had one bead fall off. It was on the side. I don't think I'll be going back into it, so I'm probably going to leave that one be. It wasn't a super important bead anyway. But now I'm going to let this cool, because again, if I take this paper off too early, the sides tend to curl up, so I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to peel it off, take off the tape, and eventually glue it down onto my canvas, so that way it is done. So I finished gluing down my Perler bead project onto this canvas that I painted. I glued it down using this E6000 glue. I used to use a hot glue gun, but when I did that, sometimes the hot glue gun would be so hot that it would melt the Perler beads. So I don't do that anymore because that messed up a project. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have a question, please leave it in the comments section, and thank you for watching.